If searching for ancient artifacts was an Olympic sport, this tireless team of archaeologists would undoubtedly take home the gold. After years of toiling away in the muddy slums of Cairo, without hope of ever uncovering something important, miraculously, they struck gold. What this crew uncovered is one of the most impressive finds in Egypt's history, an awe-inspiring statue that reveals astounding insight into one iconic old town and its beloved leader. Brace yourself and get ready to be blown away by this magnificent discovery and find out why it's such an important discovery. Stay tuned through this story to learn more. The team of archaeologists were dedicated to their mission when they ventured into the Cairo slums in Egypt, excavating what used to be the town of Heliopolis, one of the country's oldest cities. They left no stone unturned as they sought out any potential discoveries that might have been buried beneath centuries' worth of sand and dust. Their hard work and determination certainly paid off, with plenty of remarkable findings under their belts. At the start of their work, archaeologists faced a major issue: dealing with water. The American Research Center in Egypt reported that an ever-growing water table had afflicted the site. Despite this setback, they proceeded to search beneath the surface of the water, where they were presently digging. To make matters worse, it was uncertain whether or not any useful results would come from their efforts. Nevertheless, they persisted despite rising tests and taking over 10 times longer than if it had been a land exploration. The archaeologists found that wading through water was not their only challenge in the slum, which had been used as a dump site for many years. They also had to work around an estimated 8 meters of industrial and domestic debris. Despite this, they maintained faith that they were in the correct spot due to their historical importance. In spite of obstacles, archaeologists strive to uncover the history hidden in Heliopolis, an ancient Egyptian city located in modern eastern Cairo. Nicknamed the City of the Sun, it was the birthplace of a solar god and home to an influential cult connected to Egyptian mythology. Professor Salima told NBC News that this site is historically significant. It is one of the most important religious places in ancient Egyptian history. Archaeologists at the working-class site, with its mud roads and partially built structures surrounded by water, waste, and rubble, faced a daunting challenge. But their hard work paid off after more than 10 years when they made an extraordinary discovery proving why it's important to keep areas undisturbed for us to learn about our history. Archaeologists had high hopes when they visited Madaria, the Cairo slums situated within Heliopolis, a historically significant town in Egypt. The site was once home to one of the most renowned temples constructed by Ramses II. It was larger even than Karnak Temple in Luxor. Sadly, after standing for thousands of years, Greco-Roman forces destroyed it centuries ago. However, fascinating remnants remain and give rise to many opportunities for exploration and discovery. International archaeologists worked for years to find some remnant of what they knew was deep underground. Their efforts paid off at last when they struck something that would be one of the most important discoveries of all time. The item they began to excavate was a quartzite colossus. Right away, it was clear that this was something of massive importance. Still, they would need to pull it out of the water and mud to give it a proper evaluation. News quickly spread that something massive was found, resulting in a crowd of onlookers eagerly awaiting as a giant forklift did what the archaeologists could not. Officials, local residents, and news outlets watched as a mound of stone was pulled out of the water. The piece was the head of a 26-foot statue that dates back 3,000 years. Though the archaeologists could pinpoint what exactly the artifact was in terms of size and material, the more important question was its significance. The possibility that this statue was of Pharaoh Ramses II was a massive deal considering the historical context. Sometimes called Ramses the Great, this ruler was the most celebrated and powerful of his time. He was the third pharaoh of the 19th dynasty of Egypt and was referred to as Great Ancestor by younger generations. He ruled for more than 60 years, during which time he reasserted control of Canaan, led expeditions into Nubia, and built cities, temples, and monuments. As mentioned earlier, the archaeologists were digging near the former Sun Temple of Heliopolis, which Pharaoh Ramses II established thousands of years ago. It would make sense, then, that this new statue might be of the leader. Archaeologists surmised that the statue was, in fact, of the ancient Egyptian ruler. They would have to excavate all of the pieces of the statue first to be sure, but the idea made the discovery that much more groundbreaking. Ramses II, who is also known as Ozymandias, was discovered in statue form long before this particular excavation. The British Museum contains a broken statue of the ruler that is believed to have inspired a sonnet by the Romantic poet Percy Bysshe Shelley. In the poem, Shelley writes about a traveler who describes an Ozymandias statue. The sonnet was published in 1818 and has popularized the ancient leader. It was one of Shelley's most famous works. As if the 26-foot statue of what's believed to be Ramses the Great wasn't enough, there was also another jaw-dropping item uncovered. Archaeologists found a life-size statue made of limestone that depicts Pharaoh Seti II, Ramses II's grandson. The piece excavated was only the top portion of the statue, so it measured just 31 inches long. The fifth pharaoh of the 19th dynasty of Egypt famously faced the threat of his half-brother taking over the throne as he seized control of Thebes and Nubia. The smaller statue of Pharaoh Seti II seemed to further insinuate that the massive colossus was of Ramses II after all. Before anything was set in stone, pun intended, the archaeologists continued searching for any other items or clues. That's when they came upon another significant discovery. It was a piece of an obelisk that has hieroglyphics on it. It would take some restoration to see how these items might connect, or even give insights into one another. The discoveries gave locals something to be in awe of. How amazing it would feel to see the connection between where you live and ancient history. Residents rushed to take pictures with the incredible ancient artifacts. Another reason that the discovery was important is that it had the potential to bring in tourists. Visitors had declined in recent years, but such groundbreaking news could drive travelers to Cairo and help boost the town's economy. The necropolis of Saqqara is located south of Cairo and is regarded as the largest group of Egyptian tombs. These archaeologists are dusting off newly discovered artifacts that date back to the late period and the Ptolemaic period of ancient Egypt. The items include small statues and funerary masks that were excavated from more than 40 feet underground in burial shafts. The necropolis is located west of the Nile River and stretches across 8 kilometers. Archaeologists also uncovered this statue of a scarab in the necropolis of Saqqara. Scarab comes from the scientific name Scarabia sacer, which is the dung beetle. These insects had significant meaning in ancient Egypt. The religious significance of these beetles had to do with the sun god Ra, who was believed to transform souls as he rolled across the sky each day. Similarly, these insects roll dung into a ball for food and as an egg chamber, representing renewal and rebirth. Wadi was a high priest who served King Nefertari during ancient Egypt's 5th dynasty. Archaeologists recently discovered his elaborate tomb, which dates back 4,400 years. The tomb is more than 30 feet long, 10 feet wide, and 10 feet tall. It features sculptures and inscriptions that are in impressive shape. There are also painted reliefs of Wadi, his wife, and his mother, along with scenes of people doing things like hunting and manufacturing goods. Archaeologists searching for Cleopatra's tomb stumbled upon this small, alabaster statuette of her. It was discovered at the Temple of Taspasiris Magna, which is west of Alexandria. Cleopatra was the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic dynasty and the companion of Alexander the Great. The many pieces of art depicting Cleopatra have made her a subject for more recent artists over the centuries. She is one of the more popular figures from ancient Egypt and a cultural icon. The same site where the aforementioned statue of Cleopatra was discovered also produced this piece of a mask. It is believed to depict Marcus Antonius, who is also known as Mark Antony. The Roman general is popularly known for playing a key role in transforming the Roman Republic into the autocratic Roman Empire. As a general for Julius Caesar, Mark participating in the conquest of Gaul and Caesar's civil war. He also shared 3 children with Cleopatra.